This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News. Today we are looking at some Sennheiser wireless units. These are the XSW, the digital versions, which will allow us to beam audio from a location to a different one. Generally, I'm finding out these working best between 60 and 90 feet distance line of sight, meaning that there's nothing really between the transmitter and the receiver. Today, I have two. There's a version that has XLR in and out. There's also one that has an XLR in, and it has 1/8" jack out. This one is meant for using for a microphone to your camcorder, so you could use your favorite kind of regular microphone. You're not anything that needs phantom power. You can just use your regular microphone and go with that. Battery powered as far as they're rechargeable inside. Kind of a cool little idea, but there are limitations. You can't do some beaming things. We did a couple of videos on that. Check those out. But what I'm doing today is I want you to check out where the transmitters are. This is my board that I use with the Disc Jockey News, the DJ and TV shows, and there's a ton of wires. I want to make this as difficult as possible to simulate those times where I'm going to come out of the back of my DJ board and beam maybe across the room to speakers. So what I have is I've got that in there, and that's at about, probably tabletop height. Then it comes through a 2x6 wall that is sheetrocked on both sides and insulated. Then it's coming into here, and I'm going to put it into this little Bose Pro here, the S1 Pro, so we can check it out, and then we can kind of get an idea of the difference. The signal going into these two transmitters, exact same. We want to see if there's going to be a difference in the signal coming out of it. So we're going to put this into, I want to make sure all of my volumes are down. We're going to go into input 1 right here, and now, there we go, that's input 1. And I'm at about, I'm going to say I'm at the first notch, which would be going from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. That's where that is. So now we'll plug the next one in, because there's a convenient auxiliary 1/8" jack here. We'll plug that in. There's, and I still have signal. Interesting. It doesn't have any signal at the 8, it doesn't register a signal, but when I get it up to 9, so there's the 9 on the 1/8" jack. Let's take it up to 9 on the, okay. That's 12 o'clock. That was 12 o'clock on the 1/8" jack. And I couldn't get to 12 o'clock before I probably would be pushing the speaker a little bit too hard. So an interesting thing, that first off, that they both work near each other on that side, and they both work when they're near each other on this side. And I haven't had any drops, because you can see the little green lights. If you see those go to red, that means that they're starting to have a weak signal. And if they stay red, that means they've dropped the signal. So if it's flashing red, it's either a battery issue or it's the signal dropping, and then, of course, once it's fully stays red, that means that it's lost its signal. We aren't having that, so that's kind of a cool thing. We're through a wall. That's kind of a cool thing. I've got a phone right there, and I've got the Bluetooth things that are possibly interfering. That's not happening, because we still are good. Of course, if I turn the speaker on, you'd be able to tell that. And is it on? Yeah, it's on. So we're still got a nice signal and a nice sound. So everything is working just as you would expect it to for this little demo. And we do have a difference in volume, where this is probably maybe half the volume of what the XLR to XLR is. Still functional. It's just you would have to adjust your speaker gains on the back of your speakers accordingly to even out that sound if you were going to be using a combination of the two, or if you were just using one type or the other type, you're good to go. Remember though, if you're going to be using multiples, you have to turn one pair on first, make sure they sync up, which they'll go from flashing green to solid green. Then once the first pair is in, then you can start the second pair. Once those are done, off and you're good to go. They've got little convenient little tape strips, little color dots, so you can color code these and make sure you've got the pairs together that work the best for you, and off you go. Anyway, links in the description below. You guys can check this out. This is one of my unscientific tests here, giving you an idea of how these little XSW digital systems work here from Sennheiser.